This is the wing for the Bugatti 100p. It ended up being 88 inches, which I believe is a few inches over quarter scale. But I built it from plans of a smaller plane that was blown up to quarter scale, so in the end, it came out pretty damn close. I'm showing it to you like this so you can get a grasp for the 3 degrees of forward sweep that is built into the wing. The original Bugatti was designed this way. Very stable for high-speed flight. Low-speed flight, not so much. The specifications on the full-scale wing suggest that at minimum flight speed, the tips will begin to stall, and by stall, I mean stop producing lift. The tips will begin to stall at a 16-degree angle of attack. The entire wing will stall at a 22-degree angle of attack. Which means if you're trying to take off and you pull more than 22 degrees, it's just going to fall out of the sky. So, that tells you that the landings and takeoffs are going to have to be very shallow. Something for me to remember. Alright, now I'm going to put the wing on the plane and show you some of what's inside. Alright, so now the wing is installed. Here you can see 3 synchronized servo reversers and the controls for the landing gear and the 25-pin connector, or the 15-pin connector coming up from the fuselage to power up the wing. Those servo reversers are basically just a Y connection that gives you the operation of 2 servos on only one channel. And then you designate one of the 2 as your master, and the slave you set up with that little set screw. You can adjust the slave to match the master. This is old school stuff. This stuff's been around for years because I'm using an old radio. I'm using an old 8-channel radio that's been upgraded to frequency swapping technology years ago, but it's still old technology. This just goes to show you the old technology still works, okay? So, the next thing, let's take a look at the landing gear. Because of the CG problem that's evident on this plane, I moved the landing gear so far forward that the tire, I actually had to sand away some of the back of the leading edge stock to get the tire in there, because I moved the gear so far forward to give it some forward rake to help with the CG problem. Next, we'll take a look at the ailerons. One of the biggest problems with RC models can be aileron flutter, which happens when air is allowed to get in between the gap between the airfoil and the aileron. I have developed my own hinging method. I don't know if I can't say I invented it. There's probably other people that use this. But in order to eliminate My battery must be getting low. In order to eliminate the possibility of that, the stock that's on the back side of the wing is enlarged so much that I could hollow out the back side of it with a Dremel and lay the leading edge of the control surface into what I removed with the Dremel to eliminate any possibility of aileron flutter. I've done that with all of the control surfaces, all the flaps, the air brakes, the elevators. They've all been done that way. So there's absolutely no possibility of flutter occurring. Or I've done my best to prevent it. Let's put it that way. One of the major things I wanted to do was to have this entire wing operate without any visible control horns. And I was able to accomplish that on the wing. Unfortunately, the tail section, I just didn't have room to pull that off. But I'll take one of these covers off here and I'll show you how the flaps and air brakes work. There we go. These are called Kimbrough couplings. And there's two very small servos in there with a mount that I also 3D printed. And the rods go through the wall, operate the flaps and the air brakes. Next, the ailerons and the flaps, as you can see, do not have the same hinge angle. Two completely different hinge angles. So when it came to making the aileron controllable without any visible control horns, I had to go a little outside the box. And I don't think I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to keep that secret. That and the gearbox, I'm going to keep those secret for now. So that's pretty much it for the wing. And hopefully taxi test soon.